Your Excellency, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, my dear brother, and Mrs. Ahmed, distinguished heads of state and heads of government of Africa, distinguished guests of the people of Ethiopia. If this was to achieve simply the provision of water and energy to the people of Ethiopia and surrounding countries, it would be a marvel of history, a marvel of engineering, and a boon for the prosperity of the people of this region. But if we are to be honest, it is not simply the achievement of what has been done here for the provision of water and energy and the catalytic effect that it will have on economic and social development and security, but it is the journey. Above all else, the journey. The journey of a people who have remained proud throughout history, who have attested that the origins are here, and who have defied all attempts to keep them down. When we toured the facility in the last few hours, I turned to my brother and I said, this is the Adwa engineering feat. And I say so for those who do not know, including many from my own Caribbean community, that when the international world determined that this project was not to see the light of day, that it was not to receive the financing of companies that like to make money and therefore were usually only interested in repayments, that when that befell the people of Ethiopia, the people stood tall and the people determined that this project was not beyond them and that it was going to see the light of day, even if it meant that every person who could give, however small, however large, could do so. And even if it meant that it would take much longer than it would otherwise have taken to build, the people of Ethiopia stood tall and put their money where their mouth is. And $5 billion later, we have the prospect of a project that will speak not just to the prosperity and stability of the people of this country and surrounding countries, but it also speaks to what can always remain within our grips and remain possible as people of Africa and African origin. On behalf of my own country, Barbados, on behalf of the Caribbean community, on behalf of the 6th region of the Africa Union, the diaspora, I stand here today to say that you have opened our eyes and you have excited the sensibilities that we have. And we know that if ever there was a time for those sensibilities to be awoken, and if ever there was a time for us to understand our possibilities, it is now, when the world seems not to be able to find itself and to create the opportunities for ordinary people because a few are dominating and others are determined to ensure that while some dominate, we are not going to be victims of our time, but we can be shapers of our destiny, or as I say, as we say in Barbados in our anthem, firm craftsmen of our fate. Adwa told us in the Caribbean what was possible if we bound together and created that great Pan-African movement that led to our independence as nations, that led to our understanding that the language of Marcus Messiah Garvey, delivered on the 1st of October 1937, that we must emancipate ourselves mentally. Adwa taught us that these things were possible, and we have seen what we have achieved over the course of the last century. I pray today that as we leave here, that we will see the awakening of Africa, not just in this part of Africa, but the entire continent and its diaspora, because this is evidence that when we work together, anything is possible. In my own country, and in my own country, we have a simple saying that inspires the efforts of ordinary people every day. And in our dialect, it goes like this: one blow is kill old cow. It is a determination that one blow at a time, one step at a time, one person at a time, we can achieve so much. I leave you, the people of Ethiopia today, confident that if we, as I said in Algeria last week, can rise to the occasion of working together, then this continent and its people and its diaspora that will be responsible for 1/4 of the world's population, that has given us a demographic dividend that no other continent is now giving us, that we know that you can rise, we can rise, and that we shall be the humanizing element that the world needs now more than ever. Let us go forward in love, in unity, one aim, one purpose, one destiny. Congratulations to the people of Ethiopia. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellencies, we might have an Air Force flyover during the course of the program.
I was muted. So congratulations to all Ethiopians Nkwan Des Aለን. So just like that, what has been a battle for the past 15 years in all corners, on all levels for Ethiopia to build this dam, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which is purely a hydroelectric generating project or dam. It's Africa's largest dam in Ethiopia, has inaugurated this today with the world. And amongst them, African leaders from neighboring countries, and including the Pan-African leader, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, was there. And that was her speech in Cuba, where specifically this dam is built. And as she said in the beginning of her speech, this is the engineering feat of Adwa. And that's what we call it also. This is my generation Adwa. This is our generation Adwa. This is, something, it's something beyond dam. It's something beyond just a hydroelectric power dam. It means everything for us. It's a symbol that tells us, when we unite, we can do everything. Despite our differences, the Adwa victory was because we united. Governors from all regions of the country were united under the leadership of Menelik II, Emperor Menelik II, and they said, okay, we put aside our differences, and now we have this foreign power that's going to invade us, and we have to unite together. And they met at a place where he called them, to meet. And that's exactly the same thing at this Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is. It's our fight against to be free economically, and it was not an easy journey. It's a symbol of unity. It's a symbol of, it's a generational national project that, despite our differences, our leaders, we have seen from the dynasty time, from Emperor Menelik to also Emperor Haile Selassie, and then you have Derg, and then you have Meles Zenawi, and then you have Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn, and then now Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. None of them has put aside this project. All of them has thrown their stones. But finally that it has been completed. This brings me so much joy and so much emotion. And I'm sorry about that, but I'm very happy, and I'm very happy also the African leaders get to see and witness this with us, because this is for us. In fact, I would like to tell you that right after this inauguration, President William Ruto of Kenya was there. He also had a speech there, and Ethiopia and Kenya already have signed. They have a deal, Ethiopia to supply power to Kenya, and even now, again, right after, they have signed another deal for Ethiopia to supply that power. This is so much, because this brings, literally, it powers Ethiopia. When I say literally, it brings light. More than 60% of Ethiopia lives in a darkness, and we have been told by Pierre Mottley said, by IMF and other financial institutions, that we cannot build, we cannot use our water, and we were denied funds and loans and everything. Egypt and Sudan tried to block us, which are also the Nile riparian state. They are the downstream part of the Nile riparian states, and we have seen all, the journey, as she said, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, I want to celebrate the journey, because all of us, on what we can, this was built. When they told us no, the people of Ethiopia stood tall. We said, we are going to build this by ourselves. And this is what also Emperor Haile Selassie has faced. They wanted to build this dam on the highlands of Ethiopia, where the Blue Nile originates. Okay, we call it Abai. And the same thing, our emperors were denied of that fund. And Haile Selassie said, okay, you know what? We are not able to do this, and we are not willing to sell our sovereignty just because you give us your loan. But there will be a time that Ethiopians by themselves gonna build this dam, and that's what happened. And and my children are so lucky that we get to see or witness this history. And yeah, congratulations to all Ethiopia. And you know what? We can do many more Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. This has been really one of a journey. And thank you to all my Pan-African brothers and sisters who have stood with us when we brought a panel discussion or any kind of support media campaign, that you understood this was not just for Ethiopia. This was something for Africa. This was something for the global Black nations. So you have stood with us, and I would like to say thank you. I will not gonna call names, but all of you, you know who you are, and you have shown your support. Even those who seem now a bit of in a distance, I mean, you know who you are. So yeah, thank you for all of you. By the way, I would like to say thank you also for my Eritrean brothers and sisters who have supported this. I don't care about what difference we have, because for me it's really important to name it, because you have been with us as well. And this is for the benefit of the region. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, it powers Ethiopia. It empowers also the region and the whole of the continent. And it sustains the world because it's built based on sustainable energy. So thank you very much. And for me, we are so happy that we have our brothers and sisters like from Caribbean, which is called as the sixth region of Africa. This is very, very symbolic, for her to be present, for Prime Minister Mottley, although she's the Prime Minister of Barbados, but she represents the whole CARICOM, the Caribbean community. So we are celebrating this together, and that is because Adwa, as the same thing, we have got a response from our brothers and sisters from Caribbean, from the West, but generally from Black people in general who came to Ethiopia to help Ethiopia, whether in terms of being a pilot for during the war against in Adwa, or supporting us through medicine and everything. So now you get to see also, to witness our project, this Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. So yeah, thank you all. I cannot name every African country, really. Thank you so much. Even Egyptians, you know that this is for the better of Egypt. Well, that was it. I would like also, actually, you know what? Let's go and continue and listen to President William Ruto's speech, which was also, I find it very powerful. Okay, let's see this. Yeah.
The burden alone, it is in that spirit that we commemorate today's no nation feels.
This is President Sheikh of Somalia. After all the drama that we have with Somalia, so I'm really happy that they are part of this. Let's listen to him.
Excluded, and no nation bears the burden alone. It is in that spirit that we commemorate today's inauguration of this great dam. May today remind us all that our real achievement will be in partnership we sustain, the trust we nurture, and the unity we build for generations to come. This is a reliable ambition and vision because the proof is we've shared our own blood. There's no reason we cannot share a physical and worldly resources. I thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, William Samuel Ruto.
How to translate your
Excellencies, heads of state and government, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, Your Excellency, my brother, Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Excellencies, heads of state and government, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and deep privilege to address you on this important occasion, the inauguration of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, a moment of monumental significance. I congratulate the government and the people of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia on this historic achievement. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is not only a feat of engineering ambition, it is also a bold affirmation of Africa's capacity to shape its own destiny, marshal its resources, and deliver transformative infrastructure in pursuit of prosperity. Today, as we celebrate this milestone, we also reaffirm the enduring bonds of brotherhood, cooperation, and shared vision that unite our nations across the Horn of Africa and the wider Nile Basin. Kenya remains committed to working with Ethiopia, a key regional partner, as it takes this leap towards energy sufficiency and economic transformation. Your Excellencies, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is not merely a national project. It is a Pan-African statement. It exemplifies the scale and ambition of African-led infrastructure and aligns with Africa Union's vision of continental energy connectivity. Despite Africa's vast renewable resources, the continent accounts for only 6% of global energy use, while nearly half of Africans, over 600 million people, still lack access to electricity, and close to 1 billion people also lack clean cooking solutions, with dire consequences for public health, education, and productivity. These deficits disproportionately affect women and children and hinder inclusive development. They drive up business costs, compromise hospitals and schools' operations, and constrain the life prospects of millions, particularly in rural and remote areas. Africa's energy demand is set to rise exponentially, driven by population growth and rapid urbanization. By 2030, 1 in every 5 people globally will live in our continent. Meeting that demand sustainably will require doubling current energy investments, with at least 2/3 directed towards clean energy, like the feat of engineering just behind us. Supported by multilateral cooperation and regional solidarity, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam provides a blueprint for scaling similar projects across Africa and bridging the continent's energy divide. Distinguished guests, Kenya's partnership with Ethiopia on clean energy is a living example of regional integration. In 2022, Kenya began importing 200 megawatts of hydroelectric power from Ethiopia under a 25-year hydro power purchase agreement. This power is transmitted through a 1,045-kilometer Ethiopia-Kenya interconnector, a vital component of East Africa's power pool. Beyond affordability, this energy unstable supply enhances grid reliability, particularly during droughts when hydropower output is volatile. With Kenya's peak demand exceeding 2,300 megawatts and rising, this additional capacity strengthens our reserve margins and reduces supply deficits. I have already had a conversation with Prime Minister that we will be having an extended conversation on whatever reserve power that is available from this dam. We are ready to sign a power purchase agreement so that we can offtake some of the power from this important dam. Reliability is especially critical for special economic zones, industrial parks, ICT hubs, and agro-processing facilities, all of which require consistent and affordable power to drive Kenya's development agenda. Additionally, this cooperation advances Kenya's climate and development goals with more than 90% of our electricity already sourced from renewable sources. We remain committed to achieving 100% clean energy mix by 2030. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam strengthens this transition by integrating zero-emission power into our grid and reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Importantly, it also supports Kenya's national development priorities under Vision 2030 and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda by expanding access in undeserved regions, empowering young people and women entrepreneurs, and promoting green industrialization. Excellencies, allow me to restate Kenya's commitment to constructive engagement in the wider Nile Basin discourse. We recognize the Nile's centrality to the lives and livelihoods of millions. Its shared use must be governed by principles of equity, sustainability, cooperation, and mutual respect. Kenya is firmly committed to safeguarding collective interests while working with brothers and sisters in our region. We believe that no country should be denied the opportunity to unlock a huge resource like the one that we are launching today, because indeed it becomes a shared resource. Ladies and gentlemen, we commend the progress that has been achieved and urge continued cooperation between all our countries. And I want to commend the people, government, and more particularly my brother, Prime Minister Abiy, for this monumental achievement. Listening to you, Prime Minister Abiy, you not only inspire your own people in Ethiopia, you inspire our people in the region.
Not knowing what's going on in my business.
Knowing very well that the sweat and blood and energy and effort and resources that have been put in the development of this dam was as a result of locally mobilized resources, money raised by Ethiopians to build This monumental project gives us confidence of the ability of us as a people to take charge and command our own development into the future. The fact that you have raised $5 billion without debt, without borrowing, without support from others, makes us believe that indeed Africa can take charge of its own destiny. I want to encourage you, Prime Minister Abiy, as my brother, continue to do what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. And if you are in doubt at any one moment, let me confirm to you, you are doing the right thing. Continue doing this, because our future is going to be dictated by what we do, the vision we carry, the hopes of our people that we turn into reality, as you are doing in this dam. Your brothers and sisters in Kenya, I will give you an example. 2 years ago, we decided that we are going to get millions of our people. In fact, 7 million of Kenyans live in slums. And we decided that we are going to give dignity to our people, and we are going to build houses for them. I am happy that Ethiopia, in your vision, is going to build 1.5 million houses. We are also on that journey. Already, we have 700,000 housing units on the pipeline. We are already constructing 170,000 houses as I talk to you. And Kenyans, from their own resources, without debt, without support from others, have raised $4 billion worth of projects under the housing program. It confirms to you that what you are doing in Ethiopia is what we are doing in Kenya. And that is what we should be doing in our region. That way, we can emancipate our people from debt, from begging across borders, and take charge of our own development. This moment must remind us that the path to peace and prosperity lies in working together, not division, in partnership, not rivalry, and in unity, not isolation. Together, we can transform our region, harness our shared resources, and shape a future of dignity and opportunity for all our people. I thank you. God bless Ethiopia, and God bless our region. Thank you very much.
So that was President William Ruto of Kenya, so in his speech, as you may have heard, he said Kenya has already signed a deal with Ethiopia, power deal. Already Ethiopia is supplying power, but also now he said if there's any reserve, if it's not, sold out, if there's any reserve power, then Kenya would like to make or extend that deal. In fact, there's a news that came out just 3 hours ago, and let me just read it for you. This talks about Kenya to sign power deal with Ethiopia after Africa's largest dam launched. Now, Kenya is ready to sign a power purchase agreement with Ethiopia to uptake reserve power from 6,450 megawatts Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. That's what President William Ruto said in his speech. Now, President Ruto noted noted that with Kenya's peak demand exceeding 2,300 megawatt and continuing to rise, this additional capacity would strengthen the country's reserve margin and reduce supply deficits. He pointed out that beyond affordability, the clean and stable supply would enhance grid reliability, particularly during droughts when hydropower output is volatile. So this is what it is generating already. Djibouti also is going to buy power from Ethiopia, and there are countries also who wanted to buy and are in the pipeline signing this power deal with Ethiopia. Countries like Tanzania, countries like Burundi, and this is what I call, it literally powers Ethiopia and empowers the region and the continent as whole, because the Agenda 2063 of African Union, one of the things is that there is a continental energy connectivity. This is under its flagship, the 10 flagship of the Agenda 2063. So Ethiopia, by doing this part, by contributing this part, it's already benefiting the region, empowering them, powering them, and also economically empowering the region. And then, of course, collectively working together to one aim, which is connectivity, the continental energy connectivity agenda of the African Union. That was President William Ruto. Now, last, I would like to find Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's speech. It's in Amharic, but hopefully there is a caption, a translation, or I will try to do that as he speak, because it was a very, very emotional one, his speech. So I'd like to say something about it. This was a drone show on the eve of the inauguration. So yeah, this was the eve of the inauguration last night. And what happened there is it was a drone show, and that drone was actually produced or manufactured by local drone manufacturing company that was just launched maybe less than a month ago. So these are locally made drones managed and controlled by local experts, by Ethiopians, produced also and operated by Ethiopians. So these drones were on Guba, on the place where the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is built, showing us, you know, that show as you can see. That makes it also really special. Now, I'd like to invite you, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's speech, his full speech during his inauguration this morning.
እጅግ የተከበሩ ፕሬዝዳንት እስማኤል ኦመር ጌሌ፣ እጅግ የተከበሩ ፕሬዝዳንት ሳልቫኪር፣ እጅግ የተከበሩ ፕሬዝዳንት ዊሊያም ሩቶ፣ እጅግ የተከበሩ ፕሬዝዳንት ሐሰን ሼክ መሐመድ፣ እጅግ ተወዳጅ የተከበረች ከሩቅ አገር እኛም ብላ የመጣች ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትር ሚያ ሞትሌ፣ የኤስዋቲኒ ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትር ሩስል ሚስ፣ የአፍሪካ ዩኒየን ሊቀመንበር ማህሙድ አሊ ዩሱፍ፣ የዩኤን ኢሲኤ ኃላፊ ክሌቨር ጋቴት፣ የኢጋድ ዋና ጸሐፊ ወርቅነህ ገበየው፣ የቀድሞ ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትር ኃይለማርያም ደሳለኝ፣ ምክትል ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትር ደመቀ መኮንን፣ የተከበራችሁ አፈጉባኤዎች፣ የተከበራችሁ ምክትል ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትሮች፣ የተከበራችሁ የክልል ርዕሳነ መስተዳድሮች እና የከተማ ከንቲቦች፣ የተከበራችሁ ሚኒስትሮች፣ የተከበራችሁ የጦር ጀነራል መኮንኖች፣ ይህንን ፕሮጀክት በቦርድ በፕሮጀክት ኃላፊነት ያስተባበራችሁ የስራ ኃላፊዎች፣ እጅግ የተወደደው የሳሊኒ የመጀመሪያ ልጅና የኢትዮጵያ የቁርጥ ቀን ወዳጅ የሳሊኒ ኮንትራክተር ባለቤትና ከሱ ጋር ያሉ የቲም አባላት በሙሉ፣ በሰሜን፣ በደቡብ፣ በምስራቅ፣ በምዕራብ ጫፍ ያላችሁ መላ ኢትዮጵያውያን በሙሉ፣ እንዲሁም ከኢትዮጵያ ውጭ ያላችሁ የኢትዮጵያ ወዳጆች በሙሉ ፈጣሪያችን እንኳን ለዚህ ታላቅ ቀን አበቃን አበቃችሁ ለማለት እወዳለሁ።
አሜን።
የተከበራችሁ ኢትዮጵያውያን፣ ታሪክ ሰምተናል፣ ታሪክ አይተናል፣ ታሪክ ተምረናል።
So let me say, up until now, he was just addressing all the guests. It was really important for him to name each and every one, all those African leaders that are there. And also he described Prime Minister Mottley, saying that very, a loved, famous Pan-African leader who come, our sister who come from far just for us. That's how he described it. And that was really, I find it lovely. And yeah, up until now, he was just addressing. Now he's starting, the speech. So let's continue.
ዛሬ ፈጣሪ የመረጠው ትውልድ መሆን ስለቻል ታሪክ ሰርተን ታሪክ ላይ ቆመን ለማውራት በቅተናል። ህዳሴ ለኢትዮጵያ ብቻ ሳይሆን ለጥቁር ህዝቦች በሙሉ ምድር እስክትሰበሰብ ታሪክ ሆኖ የሚኖር ታላቅ ገድል ነው። ነገር ግን ባለፉት በርካታ ዓመታት
he said, let me, we at this time, let's say thank you that we are selected to get to see this history in our time. And this is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, not only for Ethiopians, but for the global Black people. It will be the symbol of our planet Earth up until there is no more earth. That's what he said.
አባይ እግር እንጂ አፍ ስላልነበረው ኢትዮጵያውያን በልዩ ልዩ መንገድ ለአባይ አፍ ሆነው ሲናገሩለት ኖረዋል። ዛሬ አባይ በጉብኝት ጊዜ እንዳያችሁት አፍ አውጥቶ አማርኛ ለሚችሉ ደግሞም ለማይችሉ በየቋንቋቸው ራሱ ማውራት ስለሚችል ስለ አባይ፣ ስለ ህዳሴ፣ ስለ ንጋት ዛሬ ብዙ አናወራም።
So yeah, Abai River, this is what we call you. It's known as Nile, but in Ethiopia it's called Abai. So Abai used to be, by our folklore singers, poets. It's always criticized. It has this sad emotion, because it's carrying the silted soils out from Ethiopia, and there's nothing it's doing for us. It was all, every time in our literature, it's all a complaint. But now that it has only, literally he said leg, but no mouth to speak itself. But Ethiopians were talking about it in various forms, but now Abai is speaking for itself. You see, all the projects that are going on around this project and the lakes and everything. So Abai is talking for itself.
ነገር ግን መላ ኢትዮጵያውያን በየትኛውም አመለካከት ውስጥ ብንኖር የኔ ምኞትና ጸሎት ኢትዮጵያዊ ይህንን ገድል፣ ይህንን ታሪክ፣ ይህንን ስራ ሳያይ እንዳያልፍ ብቻ ነው። ምክንያቱም ህዳሴን በፍጹም በፎቶ በቪዲዮ በንግግር መግለጥ አይቻልም። መጥቶ ያየ ሰው ብቻ ነው ልኩን መገንዘብ የሚችለውና ኢትዮጵያውያን ይህ ትውልድ የሰራውን ገድል እየመጣ እንዲመለከት ምኞቴ ጸሎቴ ሲሆን ለተቆረው የጥቁር ህዝብ በሙሉ ደግሞ ግብዣዬ ነው። ጥቁሮች እንደምንችል፣ ጥቁሮች እንደምናሳካ በጥቁር ዘር ታሪክ የመጀመሪያው ታላቅ ስራ ህዳሴ ነው። እንችላለን፣ እንቀጥላለን ማለት ትችሉ ዘንድ መታችሁ ይህንን ገድል እንድትጎበኙ ግብዣዬ ይድረሳችሁ። ህዳሴ የትላንት ቁጭት ማሰሪያ የመጪው ድጋፍ።
So he said for all Ethiopians, despite in any kind of, even if you are in any kind of political ideology or whatever, you have to come and see. You have to witness this with your own eyes, because the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is not something that you get to see by picture or video. It's something different when you see it physically with your own eyes. And also for all global Black nations, he called them, he invited them to come and see.
ማብሰሪያ ነው። ይህንን ሐይቅ ንጋት ያልንበት ዋናው ምክንያት ከዛሬ 5 ዓመት በፊት ዛሬ ያየነው ሐይቅ አልነበረም። ባለፉት 5 ዓመታት 74 ትሪሊየን ሊትር ውሃ መያዝ ችለናል። 74 ትሪሊየን ሜትር ውሃ ማለት ምን ማለት ነው ያላችሁ እንደሆነ በአንዳንድ ብር ካሰብነው 74 ትሪሊየን ብር ማለት ነው። የለም በዛ አስወደድከው ካላችሁኝ በ50 ሳንቲም ብናስበው 37 ትሪሊየን ብር ማለት ነው። አሁንም ተጋኗል ይቀነስልን እንደ መርካቶ ንግድ ካላችሁ በ25 ሳንቲም 17 ትሪሊየን ብር ማለት ነው። ዛሬ የኢትዮጵያ ጂዲፒ 15 ቢሊዮን ብር ስለሆነ ንጋት ከኢትዮጵያ ጂዲፒ የላቀ ሀብት ይዞ የመጣ በመሆኑ የኢትዮጵያን ጥልቅ ጨለማ ጥልቅ እንቅልፍ ያነቃ በመሆኑ ንጋት ተብሏል። ከዛሬ በኋላ ከዚች ዕለት ጀምሮ ዳግም አድዋ በጉባ ላይ በዚህ ትውልድ በመሰራቱ የኢትዮጵያ የልመና የኢትዮጵያ የስንፍና የኢትዮጵያ የእንጉርጉሮ ዘመን አብቅቶ እንደ ልኳ በሳይዟ የምትለካበት ዘመን ከፊታችን ተዘርግቶ ልክ ትናንትና እሁድ እንደነበረው ዛሬ ሰኞ እንደሆነው ቅድም ጠዋት እንደሆነው አሁን ረፋድ እንደሆነው እንደዚሁ በግልጥ የሚታየው ነገር የኢትዮጵያ ብልጽግናና የኢትዮጵያ ልክ አይቀሬ መሆኑ ነው። በለጽጋለች ኢትዮጵያ ትበለጽጋለች። ኢትዮጵያ ተረጂነቷ አብቅቶ ረጂ ትሆናለች። በዚህ የኢትዮጵያ ማንሳራት የመጀመሪያው ቀን ከኛ ጋር የተገኙ ወዳጆቻችን በእናንተ ዘመን ብቻ ሳይሆን በልጆቻችን ዘመን ሁሉ የኢትዮጵያ ወዳጅነት ብቻ ሳይሆን ኢትዮጵያ ከሀብቷ ከብልጽግናዋ ከተስፋዋ ከእውቀቷ ከልምዷ የምታቋድሳችሁ እንደምትሆን ካለምንም ጥርጥር ላረጋግጥላችሁ እወዳለሁ። ለታችኛው ተፋሰስ ሀገራት ወንድሞቻችን፣ ለኑቢያ ወንድሞቻችን፣ ለምስር ሀገር ወንድሞቻችን ኢትዮጵያ ህዳሴን የሰራችው ለመበልጸግ አካባቢውን በብርሃን ለመምራት የጥቁር ህዝብ ታሪክ ለመቀየር እንጂ በፍጹም ወንድሞቿን ለመጉዳት ስላልሆነ በቅን ልቦና ስጋት የሚያድርባችሁ ወንድሞቻችን የጎረቤት ሀቅ የእናንተን ሀቅ መቼም ቢሆን ኢትዮጵያ የማታስቀር መሆኑን ዛሬ በኢትዮጵያ ህዝብ ፊት በድጋሚ ላረጋግጥላችሁ እወዳለሁ።
I love it, this one. So he says this is for Egypt and Sudan, for the downstream countries who are doubting or concerned, to use, to be fair, who are concerned. I would like to say, he said, to our brothers to the downstream countries, to our Nubian brothers, Nubia, these are the black Egyptians. And then he said, to our black brothers and sisters, these are also directly to the Sudanese people who seem to have a concern. I mean, to be fair, it's more than that what they are doing against Ethiopia. But he said, I would like to, he told them, be rest assured, Ethiopia is not building this Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam just for its own prosperity, but also to light up, to power, to empower the entire region. And be rest assured, and I promise you again, do not be concerned. I just love that. Okay, it's just a soft attack. Now let's continue.
የግብጽ ረሃብ፣ የሱዳን ረሃብ፣ የሌሎች ወንድሞቻችን ረሃብና ችግር የኛም ረሃብ ስለሆነ አብረን ከመብላት ከመካፈል ውጪ እኛ ተጠቅመን ማንንም የመጉዳት መሻት ፍላጎት ስለሌለን ያለፈው አልፏል። ለወደፊት በምንሰራቸው ታላቅ ስራዎች በትብብር በጋራ እንድንቆም ከወዲሁ ከአደራ ጭምር ላሳስባችሁ እወዳለሁ። መላው የኢትዮጵያ ህዝብ ገደሉን ተሻግረናል።
So I have to say this because he said, now for Egypt and Sudan, if anyone is hungry or thirsty, if Ethiopia has, we are going to share with you. And the past is past because they have been fighting us throughout these 15 years when we built this dam. But for the future, the projects that we are going to build, I invite you to work together. So in fact, he is transmitting a message of we are not going to stop here. We are going to build more dams. That's the highlight of this message. Oh my, I just love Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, I'm telling you.
ገድል በህዳሴ አትመናል። እኛ የትናንትናውን ታሪክ በመናገር ስለ አባይ በመናገር ስለ ህዳሴ በመናገር ስለ ንጋት በመናገር ጊዜ አናባክንም። ይሄኛው ፋይል ተዘግቷል። አሁን በሚቀጥሉት ጥቂት ዓመታት የሚሰሩ ዋና ዋና ስራዎች ከብዙዎቹ ጥቂቶቹን ለመላው ኢትዮጵያውያንና ለኢትዮጵያ ወዳጆች ለማብሰር እፈልጋለሁ። ኢትዮጵያ የህዳሴን ግድብ የሚተካከል ለሰላማዊ ዓላማ ብቻ የሚውል የኒውክሌር ፕላንት በቅርቡ ስራ ትጀምራለች። ኢትዮጵያ በአፍሪካ ግዙፍ የሆነውን የኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድ ስራ በቅርቡ ትጀምራለች። በጥቂት ሳምንታት የመጀመሪያው የጋዝ ፋብሪካ ይመረቃል። በዚያው ቀን ከመጀመሪያው የጋዝ ፋብሪካ በሳይዙ በልኩ ከ10 ጊዜ በላይ ከፍ ያለው ሁለተኛው ጋዝ ይጀመራል። በዛው ዕለት ለዘመናት ስንመኝ የነበረው ነዳጅ የማውጣት ፍላጎታችንን ህልማችንን እውን የሚያደርገው ሪፋይነሪ በአንድ ወር ባነሰ ጊዜ ውስጥ ስራ ይጀምራል። በዚያው ሰሞን በቅርቡ የተፈራረምነው የማዳበሪያ ፋብሪካ ስራ ይጀምራል። በሚቀጥሉት 5-6 ዓመታት በትንሹ 1.5 ሚሊዮን ቤቶች ለኢትዮጵያውያን ይገነባሉ። በድምሩ ከ30 ቢሊዮን ዶላር በላይ ሀብት የሚፈስባቸው የአፍሪካን ልጆች ቀና የሚያደርጉ የኢትዮጵያን ብልጽግና የሚያሰምሩ ሜጋ ፕሮጀክት ያልገለጽኳቸውም ጭምር ከፊታችን ስላሉ ከዚህ ሰዓት በኋላ ኢትዮጵያውያን በሰራነው ገድል ሳይሆን ከፊታችን በሚጠብቀን ከባድ ስራ ታጥቀን እንድንነሳ የኢትዮጵያን ብልጽግና እንድናፋጥን የኢትዮጵያን ብሩህ ተስፋ እንድናፋጥን ነቅቷል ሳይመሽ ስራችንን እንድንጨርስ በጋራ አብረን እንድንቆም በታላቅ ትህትና ልጠይቃችሁ ፈልጋለሁ። የኢትዮጵያ የታሪክ እጥፋት፣ የኢትዮጵያ የብልጽግና መሰረት፣ የኢትዮጵያ የማንሰራራት ዘመን ዛሬ በሁሉም የኢትዮጵያ አቅጣጫ የታወጀ ስለሆነ ኢትዮጵያውያን ወንድሞቻችን እንዳይረፍድባችሁ ተባብረን ተደምረን ኢትዮጵያን እናቅና። ኢትዮጵያን ከማቅናት ውጭ ያለው ሁሉም ሐሳብ የኖርንበት የከሰርንበት የሞትንበት ስለሆነ በአንድ ልብ በአንድ መንፈስ በጋራ ቆመን የኢትዮጵያን ብልጽግና እውን እንድናደርግ ላሳስባችሁ ፈልጋለሁ። ይህ የማይሳካ ለይመስላቸው ለቅርብ ለሩቅ ጠላቶቻችን ደግሞ እኛ ኢትዮጵያውያን የማይሞት ስም እንጂ የማይሞት አካል የለንም። አካላችን ሞቶ የማይሞት ስም ለማስቀረት የማይሞት አሻራ ለማኖር የምንተጋ ህዝቦች ስለሆን ከኛ ጋር መጋጨት ሳይሆን መስማማት ብቻ ነው የሚያዋጣው። ምክንያቱም በሺህ ዘመናት የሞከሩን አንዴም አልተሳካላቸውም። በሺህ ዘመን ያላሳካነውን ደግሞ እንደምታዩት አቁመነዋል። ከእንግዲህ በኋላ የኢትዮጵያ ብልጽግና እውን መሆኑን ኢትዮጵያ ዳግም አድዋን ደጋግማ ለጥቁር ህዝቦች ማሳየቷ አይቀሬ ስለሆነ መላው የጥቁር ህዝብ በትብብር በጋራ ከልመና ወጥቶ ለመበልጸግ በአንድ ላይ እንድንቆም በወንድማዊ ፍቅር ጥሪን እያቀረብኩ አክብራችሁን እዚህ ድረስ ለመጣችሁ ወንድሞቻችን ኢትዮጵያ ላቅ ያለ ክብርና ምስጋና እንዳላት በድጋሚ ልገልጽላችሁ ፈልጋለሁ። መጪው ዘመን ብሩህ ነው። መጪ ዘመን ብዙ ስራ አለን። በጋራ በትብብር አብረን ወደፊት እንድንቀጥል ጥሪ አቀርባለሁ። እጅግ አድርጌ አመሰግናለሁ።
እናመሰግናለን ክቡር ጠቅላይ ሚኒስትር ለመልእክቶና ይህንን ቀን እውን ለማድረግ ለሰጡት ቆራጥ አመራር እናመሰግናለን።
U ook alleen bij Hans voordeel.
So if you ask me what I take from his speech, from the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's speech, there's a lot of Black people phrases is used in this. I mean, if I happen to count, really, it's a lot. And that is really the real takeaway. If you see that, I mean, I don't think that the Europeans or others were not invited, but guess who was there to witness this? It was our neighbors. It was the Black people from Caribbean. The Prime Minister of Barbados, Mottley, on behalf of the entire CARICOM, the Caribbean community, was present beside our neighbors like Kenya, Djibouti, Somalia, and also from Swatini, and the chairperson of the African Union. So he invited, that was the conclusion of his speech, all Black people in more and more ADWA-like projects that Ethiopia is embarking on. And he thanked all the Black people who stood with Ethiopia against this fight for Ethiopia to get its economic independence, and this battle for us to finish this project. And he said, for those of you who are concerned and who are into something else, be rest assured Ethiopia's prosperity is not going, Ethiopia is unstoppable. Simply, that's what he said. Ethiopia is unstoppable. Oh, yeah. And also he said, for those of you who don't know, Ethiopia is on the eve of New Year. September 11 is Ethiopia's New Year. And there are a number of mega projects. And from those there is a nuclear plant project will be started. Also, Ethiopian Airlines, it's the biggest airline or airport is going to be built, and its work the building is going to start as well. A gas fabrica, and then at the same time when that gas fabrica is inaugurated, another bigger, 10 times bigger gas fabricas project will be, the building of the foundation will be laid. Also, a refinery will be operational in less than a month. The first biggest, Africa's largest fertilizer manufacturing company that was just, a week ago signed with Dangote's company is going to be also started as well. And in the next 5 years, he said 1.5 millions of Ethiopians will be, rewarded. A house or residentials will be built for Ethiopians. And then there are other mega projects that I did not mention, he said, in the words of the Prime Minister. So what a year for Ethiopia. This is really, it's a good time to be to witness this, and I feel really lucky, especially to see the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam completed. And I can't wait to bring my children, my family, to see that physically. Well, that was it for now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Black, I really, really thank you for all your support here. But yeah, drop your questions, your comments here. I would love, to give it more thoughts and discussions, whatever question you have, because I don't assume all of you have been following the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, its journey. But if there's any question, we have made a lot of videos, even here at Connect Africa. You can find, if you just say Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam Connect Africa, you find a lot of videos that can, help you to understand from his historical point of view. That was it for now. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.